Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. We've got some leftist hypocrisy to get into today. You know what's one of the most frustrating things in politics? There's two things that really grind my gears when it comes to politicians. The first is obviously when they lie. Nobody likes being lied to, especially not when it's obvious and it feels like you're treating me as if I'm stupid and I'm supposed to buy your narrative that's totally divorced from reality. That's one pet peeve. And the second pet peeve is when I feel an elected representative isn't doing their job of representing. When somebody who you expect to be representing you as their constituent seems to be working for somewhere else or someone else. Well, today's story combines those two concepts in one. Arguably one of the shadiest, snakiest politicians in Washington, Mr. Adam Schiff, just got exposed as one big liar, one big con. As if that's a great surprise, I know, sure, but it's just been revealed that Adam Schiff has been faking his residency in order to take power in districts that he doesn't even represent. Absolutely despicable stuff. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, so take a look at this headline right over here from the Conservative Brief. Docs reveal where Adam Schiff has lived for the last 2 decades. Documents revealed this week could spell the end for Representative Adam Schiff's bid for late Senator Dianne Feinstein's seat. CNN reported on Thursday that the California Democrat has claimed his primary residence is a 3,420 square foot home that he owns in Maryland, according to a review of mortgage records by the network. At the same time, Schiff has for years taken a homeowner's tax exemption on a much smaller 650 square foot condo he owns in Burbank, California, also claiming that home as his primary residence for a reduction in his tax bill of $7,000. He did not take an exemption from his home in Maryland, the outlet continued. The network noted further, while Schiff has signed documents asserting both the Maryland property and the significantly smaller Burbank condo as his primary residence, tax records indicate that he paid his California property taxes in 2017 with a check featuring his Maryland address, the only year he paid with a personal check, and a review of his past comments, pictures shared on his public social media, and records indicate Schiff makes his full-time home in Maryland. That isn't likely to sit well with California voters as Schiff vies for Feinstein's former Senate seat in a competitive Democrat primary against Representatives Katie Porter and Barbara Lee. So essentially, he's a fake resident. How is Adam Schiff supposed to represent the people of California in his district when he lives in Maryland and when his whole identity as a Californian is a complete fraud? He owns a 650 square foot condo. You mean to tell me Adam Schiff, who has a wife, kids, is living in a 650 square foot bachelor pad, a little studio apartment in Burbank, California? Absolutely not happening. He simply bought a small little condo for himself and then listed it as his primary residence so he can run in a high-profile district. So he could be that California Democrat, along with Nancy Pelosi and the rest of them. High-profile, highly connected, allowing him opportunities in the spotlight, and now, in this case, allowing him an opportunity to potentially serve in a major Senate seat after the late Dianne Feinstein's passing. This confirms everything we've known about Adam Schiff. He's a career politician, he's career-focused, he's extremely politically ambitious, and he is willing to do literally anything that it takes, no matter how dishonest, no matter how much of a con man he has to be, as long as it benefits him, as long as it benefits the Democrats, which of course in turn ends up benefiting him, right? As he becomes more and more of a controversial figure, his brand as a Democrat continues to skyrocket. Adam Schiff is willing to do whatever. He's willing to lie and fabricate evidence during House hearings to make it seem as if he's that tough Democrat that's taking it to Donald Trump, promoting nonstop fake news garbage, attacking Donald Trump with all kinds of ridiculous slander, then of course always following it up with his Act Blue donation request. Everything this guy does is a grift. Everything this guy does, in some way or another, always leads to little Adam Schiff acts of self-promotion, vying for that next position, vying for that spotlight, vying to lead these committees. He just wants his face in all the right places, and at this point it's a pattern of behavior. It's not just one-off story of, oh, Adam Schiff lied about his residency and is living, over 1,000 miles away in probably a random Maryland suburb as California continues to rot and he continues to give absolutely no crap. It's not just that story, it's a pattern of behavior with this guy. This is just what he does. He constantly lies about almost everything. Everything with Adam Schiff is a game. He is the archetypal career politician that simply cannot be trusted. And this is just another example as to why he cannot be trusted. I mean, for so long, people have called this guy California congressman, but he doesn't spend any time in California. It's the typical elitist grifter politician. How is he supposed to care about California residents if he isn't even there? How is he supposed to acknowledge and resolve issues if he doesn't even live there? He doesn't have exposure. You know, we have a bunch of politicians who lock themselves into these positions. They get glued to the purse. You know, the whole Nancy Pelosi funding your election kind of thing. They stay in power forever. No term limits, no accountability, no performance, no real results from their leadership. We see them get these big heads, these big egos. They think themselves celebrities, and they play this federal game rather than doing their damn job. You know, it's a money in politics problem. You have the slimiest politicians who find themselves in the most powerful of seats, in the biggest and richest of states. They are where the money's at, where the political donations are at, where the lobbyist power is at. And so you end up with these horrible self-interested politicians as pretty much your only option. Right now, running for the Senate seat, there's two options: Adam Schiff and Katie Porter. You know, it's hard to even call those options. Two of the worst politicians in Washington, and frankly, two of the worst people ethically. But they're near the money, they're loyal to the purse, they're loyal to Nancy Pelosi, and so they get rewarded, and they're the only options. They're the only people who can run there because they're the only people with sufficient funding. It's a frickin' racket, it's a con, electing people into positions of power who simply don't care about anybody but themselves. Adam Schiff's job is to represent the people of his district. He doesn't do that. What Adam Schiff does is he goes to Washington and he does his little media tours. He speaks to the press. He makes everything about Donald Trump. He distracts people from his actual job performance and what he's supposed to do. He makes everything about Trump and this big boogeyman, making his entire identity really a distraction, you know, pushing some deep state anti-Trump agenda, when what he's supposed to be doing, what every representative ought to be doing, is representing the interest of where they come from, understanding it deeply. I don't know about you guys, but to me, this would be the ultimate betrayal. If I was a California voter, this would be the straw that breaks the camel's back, as if the last, I don't know, 7 straws with Adam Schiff weren't enough. We'll have to see how this affects the election, but honestly, not like it changes anything. If it's not Adam Schiff, then it's Katie Porter. The state of California politics is an absolute mystery. How people can keep voting for these slimy, frickin' snake politicians, these snakes in the grass, constantly scheming behind the scenes and doing absolutely nothing for the people they purport to represent. But alas, what'll keep happening is Democrats will keep voting blue no matter who. They'll keep voting for whoever Nancy Pelosi tells them to. There's no fixing this problem. Adam Schiff is the worst politician in Washington, arguably. And now with this report, it just got worse, and he's probably gonna get elected again. In fact, he's probably gonna get a promotion to the Senate. Why? Well, probably cause, I don't know, Orange Man bad or something. What an absolute joke, and that's pretty much what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.